Boxing Asylum listeners, here we are again, coming back after his fighter, Derek Chisora, knocked out Malik Scott in the sixth round of their fight. Renowned trainer Don Charles, our returning champion. Don, how are you doing, and how are you feeling after that victory in London?
I'm doing very good, and obviously relieved is probably the more appropriate word. How I'm feeling. Um, yeah, relieved in the sense that there was a lot of factors to this fight. Um, when the fight was initially mentioned, and when Frank Warren told us who we were fighting, I can reveal this now. I initially, as a coach, turned it down.
Really?
And yeah, I did. I turned it down. I'd heard of Malik Scott, didn't know too much about him. I looked at 2 rounds of Malik Scott, and I phoned Frank. I said, Frank, I'm not going to be any part of ending my fighter's career. I don't want to be any part of it. He said, no, 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 no. And I contested it. We contested it. I phoned my fighter up. I said, not under any circumstance accept this fight. Okay, we've never turned any fight down since I've been training Derek Chisora. So you may ask, how can we accept to fight Vladimir Klitschko and Vitaly Klitschko and then turn Malik Scott down? There's a lot of reasons. And yeah, initially we rejected that fight. We didn't want it. I didn't want it as a trainer because it was all wrong for my boy.
So because of
And
the Crossroads fight, Don, yeah?
exactly. And at the stage where Derek's career was at the time, it was a very, very risky fight to have taken on because had we lost this fight, I for one wouldn't know what would happen to my boy. You know, yeah, it was a very, very risky fight to have taken, and eventually Frank, true to his words, he was right. He was right. He's been in. This is why the man's been in the game for so long. Yeah, he knows it. He knows his game, and he genuinely believed. Yes, it was a high risk fight to offer us and to have taken. And I looked deeper. A few days after we rejected it. And yeah, then when we now accepted it that we're gonna fight this guy, then it's a question of can we win this fight, and if so, how do we win this fight? It certainly wouldn't have been by points. We definitely would not. When we took it on, I said to Derek, right, we're going to take it. If we take it, we can't afford to go a distance with this guy. It has to be a stoppage, and I hate putting that sort of pressure on my fighter. And he accepted it. He said, yeah. He said, I can stop this guy. So that's basically what happened. And God exists because I'm a God-fearing manager, and it came to how we planned it.
And Don, go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, and Don, you originally offered the Deontay Wilder fight. Was that a fight you were obviously willing to take straight away without much thought?
We weren't offered. We were not offered that fight. We requested for Derek requested for that fight. Derek requested for Deontay Wilder literally about 18 months ago, right? He asked me, "Who's this Deontay Wilder guy, the American?" I said, "Oh yeah, he's a kid coming up and he's knocking out everyone." He said, "I want to fight him one day." And then when he heard they was fighting Audley Harrison, he phoned Frank and said, I want to fight. If he beats Audley Harrison, can I fight him? And Frank said, yeah, we can try and make that. And we were the ones who pursued Deontay Wilder. And as you know, they accepted initially. Then a week later said they're through to, he was having some problems back in the States and he couldn't travel. Hence why I believe that that didn't materialize. And then we were then given the Malik Scott fight.
And Don, real quick, kind of the elephant in the room right now would be the stoppage in the fight with Scott. What was your opinion on that? Because it seemed like both fighters were kind of deflated after that. Like they even thought there was something more that needed to happen.
Yeah, it was. I mean, look, I'm a very honest man. I'm a very fair man. It was a sudden sort of how can I put it? It was premature as far as I'm concerned. That stoppage, in the sense that we welcome any stoppage. Yeah, I'm sure if it was the roles was reversed, Malik Scott would accept the victory by the way it came. But I wanted more of a conclusive results or stoppage, should I say, rather than result. The result is the result. I thought he could have been given an opportunity to continue. Had that been my fighter, I would have liked him to be given the opportunity to continue. He appeared all right when he finally got up. I'm not the referee. Derek is not the referee. The referee is there to officiate and carry out the rules. They know the rules better than me and most people. So the referee did his job. He didn't feel that the boxer beat the count. He has to look after the boxer's safety at all times. Malik Scott, being a very experienced fighter, maybe he misjudged it. But like he said, in the States, you have to beat the count of 10, which he felt he beat the count of 10. He didn't know how long was on the clock. He's the fighter. He didn't know how long was remaining on the clock. I think there was only about 5 seconds or so left on the clock, right? The fighter was not to know that. The fighter was not to know that. So he got up when he felt it was time for him to get up and just about beat the count. But the referee wasn't satisfied that he'd got up on time. So, but as far as I'm concerned, yes, it was kind of a bit of a. If you notice, none of us, Derek didn't celebrate, I didn't celebrate, the team didn't celebrate. I think the whole stadium was kind of shocked because of in the fashion it was ended. We would have wanted it to be more. I think anybody, the fans, ourselves, mainly, the fighter, Derek, would have wanted it more of a conclusive ending,
And I really appreciate your honesty on that, Don, because it was just kind of a deflating ending. I was seeing a really good contrast of style, seeing who was making their game plan work, and I was interested to see those last 4 rounds.
It's just starting to warm up. The fight was just starting to warm up, and then suddenly, that happened. But hey, this is sport in general, whether it's football, tennis, these things happen, they do happen, even in the modern days of technology that we have, these things happen, it's a humanly judgment. The referee is there to judge, whether he got it right. But according to the rule books, I stand to be corrected. According to the rule books, the referee is actually, I've since then referred to the rule books. The referee is perfectly within his rights to have done what he done according to the rule books.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, the referee can choose to stop the fight at any time, based on their own judgment. It's just, you just question the referee's judgment,
Yeah. I mean, in all sports, you question sometimes, you question the referee's judgment. So it's well, look, we can debate this forever. It was inconclusive as far as I'm concerned. If that was my fighter, I would have liked him to have been given the opportunity to have continued. That's my own personal opinion, but I'm not the referee.
Looking ahead right now, Don, I saw that Derek has been moved into a mandatory position for Pulev's European title. Are you guys really looking at him as a potential next opponent?
Well, if he's the holder, I believe is Pulev the holder
of the European, I do believe.
Yeah. If he's the holder, and if we've been made mandatory for that title, yes, we look forward to facing him if he chooses to defend that title.
Don, what did you, after the 5th round? What was the score? Your own personal opinion. What did you think the score was?
It was a very even fight. Even the rounds were very marginal. I'll be honest with you. I have my assistants, my seconds, who do the scoring. I don't pay attention to the scoring. I'm watching other things than to actually score the fight when it's happening. From my assistants, they tell me round per round where we are, and according to them, Malik was shading it at the time when the stoppage came. I think it was in the 6th round. So we'd only won 2 rounds up to that point. So Malik was winning 3. And then, Malik was a round in front at the time of the stoppage, according to our own scoring. So,
yeah.
I
had it 48-47 to Scott. I think I had Derek winning the 2nd and the 4th round. But a lot of those rounds were quite close, and it could have swung either way, you know. But the majority of the scores, especially afterwards, we saw the majority did have Scott up by a point.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we're a very honest outfit, very honest team. My team had us down by 1 round prior to the stoppage.
Yeah, Don, were you surprised a bit by the reaction of Scott after the fight? Do you think he'd kick up a fuss more that he was stopped early, or did that surprise you at all?
No, because look, we can all speculate, and only the fighter knows what the fighter was feeling. Okay, and I must commend him because he's a very honest man. I've met this guy in the press conferences. I've met him in the weigh-ins, and he came across like a true person, true human being. And it takes a very big person, not in stature, as in life, to be able to stand up and say, no, I genuinely was hurt. Yeah. Yes, I could have made the count. I believe I beat the count. But nevertheless, I was hurt. I took a shot that disorientated me. So I stayed down as long as possible to recover. No, I wasn't surprised of his stance he took after the stoppage, because only him knows what he was feeling at that point. Yeah. None of us took that punch. None of us took the punches leading up to the stoppage, the body shots, that I believed Derek was investing into his opponent. And, nobody knows what the fighter is feeling, so nobody's really fit to judge except for the fighter himself, So I believe that's why he didn't really complain, because, he knows what he was feeling.
And Don, I got to ask you, did you guys end up having a cigar with Malik after the fight?
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
I said, did you guys end up having a cigar with Malik after the fight?
Yeah, okay, look, I don't smoke, nor does Derek. Scott, like a true gentleman he is, he came into our dressing room and he offered us, or gave us, should I say, a cigar each, which I'm going to save. I'm not going to smoke it. Basically, I'm just going to save it as a souvenir,
That was a classy move. At the very least, at the end of that fight, we can say that both guys showed an excellent amount of class, being on both sides of that decision.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, look, considering what we've been through, what Derek Chisora has been through, in the sense that he's been known for his antics and pre and after post-fight antics, it just again shows you the type of person he is. He is not this madman he's perceived to be. It takes two to tango. There are things in the past. I'm not defending, not by any means defending what he's done in the past. There are things that make people react. Maybe he reacts too easily in the past. As you know, he's undergoing anger management, and obviously it's working because he behaved immaculately before and after the fight.
And Don, just to talk about the heavyweight division a little bit here, what do you see ahead in this Vladimir Klitschko Alexander Povetkin fight? Do you think we might have a shocker?
Intriguing. Look, boxing, this is boxing in general, right? But the heavyweight division has a tendency of springing a surprise every now and again. Povetkin, I was very impressed with his last fight because I actually did a prediction for his last fight that he would be outpointed in his last fight, and he won it with such ease, technically, and he surprised me with the victory because of the opponent, the size of the opponent. and that guy could actually move, and he could box. He wasn't like a typical robotic boxer heavyweight. He could move. He had every movement, lateral movement, had foot movement, and good boxing ability. And Povetkin dispatched him in good fashion, and I was really impressed. So I believe, this is not a foregone conclusion with his fight with He's fighting at home. He's fighting in Russia. There's a lot of factors where, I think it's going to be a very interesting. This is the defining part of his career. He's waited a long time for this opportunity, because he could have fought Vladimir a few years ago, and his handlers quite rightly said no, they're not ready for it. They feel the time is right now for him to make this challenge, and I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't call it an upset, no, because Povetkin is a proven heavyweight. Is well schooled, ex-Olympian, gold medalist. His pedigree is very good, and no, I really don't see it will be called an upset. I wouldn't certainly be upset. I'd be delighted. Yeah. So no, I think anything can happen, and I still fancy that Vladimir will come through, because those guys, I mean, they're exceptional, the Klitschkos, and they've mastered what they do. They're good at it. What they do, and I still fancy him coming through. But no, I wouldn't be shocked if Povetkin was to pull it off. It depends on the day. It's all about on the day. If his head is right, Povetkin, and he wants it enough, anything is possible. He's definitely got the technical ability to do what's necessary. But if his head is together on the night and he doesn't, as we say in England, bottle it. I don't know what phrase you guys use in the States, but if he doesn't bottle it, and he digs and goes for it, then yeah, he can do it.
Don, were you surprised by David Price's rematch loss to Tony Thompson?
Was I surprised? Again, was I surprised?
Or in the manner of the defeat?
In the manner of the defeat. Yes, I was surprised, because I fancied Price to come through second time of asking, because let's call it that it was a freak punch that caught him in the first fight, in the first meeting. And in the second fight, I believed that Price would be victorious. But nevertheless, not discrediting or underestimating Mr. Thompson, who, the experience there. But I really fancied Price to have come through that fight. I think what beat our man Price it's a mental issue, rather than, it wasn't a physical or technical boxing. It was mental issues. He had to deal with that mentally, and I think he let that overtake him. The mental side of it. He couldn't conquer that mental fear, whatever you may call it. It could be fear. It could be just that. Yeah, that's what beat him. It was a mental thing rather than a physical thing or technical thing.
It's looking like Derek's going to return on September 21st. He's at the Copper Box.
That's correct, yeah.
Has their opponent lined up at all yet, or are you not sure yet?
Well, as you know, he's been mandated to fight for the European title, and I believe Pulev is the champion or the holder of that belt.
Yeah.
Should he want to defend it, then it will be Pulev. But should he relinquish it for whatever reason, then whoever is next in line. We've never, with the exception of Malik Scott, who, like I've revealed now, that we turned down initially, we've never turned we'll fight anybody. You don't get many Malik Scotts in the heavyweight division. I think is exceptional. I still think is exceptional. Okay, the guy who is not your typical heavyweight. He flows. He throws punches like a lightweight, like a middleweight. The way he strings punches together, his movement, his general makeup. He's just the guy is exceptional. Hence why I believe he's been avoided for a long period. He's been unbeaten for 36 fights. There's a reason. You could see that the way the guy boxes. Brilliant.
And do you think the winner of Vladimir and Povetkin can Cowboy, force a fight one of those, or do you think they'll look to avoid him?
Well, I'm not a promoter, and that's what Frank's very good at doing. And we've always trusted in Frank Warren. We trust in God first and foremost. Secondly, we trust in Frank Warren, um, in the sense that if anyone can make it happen, Frank can. So therefore, we just get on with the fighting. Whoever is put in front of us, within reason, with the exception of Malik Scott, we will fight. If whoever's victorious between Povetkin and Vladimir Klitschko, yes, it'll be a great opportunity, because as you remember, if you can recall, Vladimir owes us 2 fights. He cancelled on Derek Chisora twice, so that would be a great fight should Vladimir opt to fight Derek Chisora. So if Povetkin is victorious, we also would look forward to that type of challenge. It'll be a great fight, because they're very similar in styles, Chisora and Povetkin, very similar in styles. And so we don't mind whoever. We don't mind if the opportunity doesn't come then, and it will come in the future. Because as far as I'm concerned, Derek will remain unbeaten for a long time now. People will see. There's a lot of things have happened which leads me to believe that he will stay unbeaten for a while to come.
Don, just on the next fight, obviously you haven't got an opponent named up yet. I don't think the Pulev fight will probably happen next, because I think he's just coming off surgery. What about potentially pushing for a rematch with Helenius, or maybe even taking him up Glasgow for maybe Abdusalamov or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I said I'm not a promoter. I'm a trainer, and that's really not my department. I just leave it to the people who are good at what they do. Frank Warren, Dean Powell, they will instrumentally engineer what happens next. Like I said, I'm the trainer, Derek Chisora is the fighter. We're prepared for any eventuality, anyone it is. Worldwide, we look, like I said, we will fight anybody. Derek will fight anybody, yeah? Okay, the only person that wasn't on our radar was Malik Scott, because he was like under the radar. Yeah, he wasn't, because you don't really hear about him, do you? He's not even in the Americans. They were talking about Yosef Mitchells and, Deontay Wilder. Those are the names you hear. There's Banks, who stepped up to heavyweight. You got our man
Mitchell.
Hanks Mitchell. You got Hanks.
Brian Jennings.
Brian Jennings. There's a few Americans there, but the ones you don't hear about, Malik Scott. Yeah. But yet again, he was unbeaten. So and again, when I started looking deeper, why is this guy unbeaten? Why has he not fought? I know the Americans don't really face each other. They've only recently started facing each other, right? You ask, why is this guy unbeaten? Why are there so many Americans unbeaten? Yeah, because they don't fight each other. They need to start fighting each other, like we do over here. They really should.
If you want to take someone else's Don, I suggest you look into this guy from El Paso, Texas, named David Rodriguez. Undefeated heavyweight, has fought nobody.
Really? Okay, I'll take the
35-0. Derek would take his head off.
There's one guy fighting in China as well called Andy Ruiz. I think he's fighting in Macau. Is it this Saturday, I think?
Yep.
Okay. I'll check him out. And I'll tell you who I was really impressed. Don't call me naive. I've forgotten his name. Is the chap that beat Ariola.
Bermain Stavern.
Yeah. From Haiti, yeah?
Yeah, he's fighting Vitali in December.
He's fighting Vitali?
He's the mandatory now, yeah.
Mandatory, yeah.
Danger. That guy is good. He is good.
And he can punch.
Yeah? He's got everything. Defense, movement, good boxing brain. He's got everything. Yeah, that guy is dangerous.
And he's got Don King backing him as well.
Well, there you go.
Well, and he's a really good example of how people write someone off after they get knocked out once. We think because somebody gets stopped that you have to write him off. He came out of nowhere because no one remembered him because he got knocked out one time.
Well, the chap we're talking about here,
Bermain Stavern.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. No, not aware of that. So he was written off, yeah?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I certainly wouldn't write a chap like that because, like I said, I'm a trainer and I observe a lot of things. That guy has everything. Anyone can get knocked out. Let's get it right. Mike Tyson got knocked out in his career. Lennox Lewis got knocked out. Yeah, I can go down the list. Everybody, listen. It's boxing. That's what happens. People get knocked out. That's what people pay to see. All right, people get knocked out. It doesn't mean you're a rubbish boxer. It doesn't mean it's the end of your career. Nevertheless, if you keep getting knocked out, of course, and then you have to look at yourself or eventually it's not good for your health to keep getting knocked out. Of course not. Yeah, but everybody gets knocked out. You certainly don't write a fighter off because they got knocked out. No.
And many people were predicting him to get knocked out by Arreola, but he just dominated him, didn't he, for 12 rounds?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Don, I just wonder if the last time we spoke, we mentioned Danny Williams. Now, I know you're a wee bit concerned about him because he continued fighting. I see he's got another fight lined up in October. Have you had a chance to speak to him yet?
I spoke to Danny again through my obligations and his obligations. We haven't hooked up, but we've spoken. I didn't go into details. He knows what it's about. Like I said, he's my brother, and I hate hearing it. I think he fought an unlicensed fight recently against Dominic Negus.
Yeah, he won, yeah.
He won that one, yeah. And so I didn't know anything about him being lined up again. Look, he loves boxing, and it's still in his system. He can't get it out of his system. And I'm sure one day it will be out of his system, So that's what you have here. But like I said, if I get the opportunity to actually meet up, then I will insist that he doesn't do it anymore. He's my brother. I've known the kid since he was 15 years old, and if he's winning, I don't mind. Don't get me wrong. If he's out there, I mean, the way I've seen it on YouTube, the way he dispatched Dominic, if he's winning fights like that, then yeah. But I don't want to see him when he's taking punishment from people who wouldn't have been able to tie his left boot lace in his day. So that's what makes me sad. But if the man's training properly and beating guys, then hey, who am I to say that he shouldn't carry on doing what he passionately loves, the sport he passionately loves?
Do you think a guy like Danny should look into being a trainer, because that could be the way that he could still stay in the sport? Absolutely. And be safer?
Absolutely, because a lot of boxers, should I say, when they leave the sport, a lot of them lose their ways simply because you can't be doing something all your life and suddenly it's like driving a car on the motorway at 150 miles an hour and then suddenly you slam the emergency brakes. It's not good for the car. Yeah, you need to slow down, gradually slow down, bring the car to a halt. With professional athletes in general, when they stop doing what they love doing, what they've done since they were age of like 12 to whenever their career ends, they should have some kind of affiliation or some kind of input into that sport in whichever capacity it may be. And someone like Danny should perhaps go into training, becoming a trainer. But what you find, people who fought at a high level or played football at a high level or cricket or tennis, anything like that, you'll find that they don't have the discipline to go into training, because it requires a lot of discipline. Yeah, they don't have it. The life's been kicked out of them during their career as whatever it is they've been doing, whether it's boxing, rugby, football, they just don't have that energy anymore to put into another individual, because it entails a lot to train somebody. It's not easy. Yeah, you have to make a lot of sacrifices and not be selfish and have a lot of patience to be able to train somebody and for them to become a champion anyway. So that's why you probably find a lot of people don't have the time or the head for it to become a trainer. But I'm sure there's so many other things, avenues he could do within the sport to keep himself occupied, and so he doesn't have to carry on fighting when he shouldn't be fighting.
And to move from a guy who might have spent too much time in the sport to a guy whose career was cut too short. You guys talked about him a little bit on the last time you joined us, and that's Ike Ibeabuchi. Now, some of us on the boxing forums fully believe that the heavyweight division today and the history of the last 10 years would be totally different had Ike not gone to jail. What do you think, Don?
Yeah, I back that up. It's a fact. It's a fact that these gifted athletes, such as Ike Ibiabuchi, yeah, but there's a it's a gift from God, the talent. Then there's a curse that goes with it. Unfortunately, the curse got hold of these individuals and denied the boxing fans, the public, of what could have been. Yes, definitely. Had he not been the character he was, a reckless. I don't know him personally. You know, it's a waste. What total waste.
Yeah, because he was something incredible in his day. I mean, such a punch.
Yeah,
David Tua fight was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was all there to be to see that what this guy would have potentially gone on and done. But it's all maybe or if, potentially it was there. But like I said, that curse that followed him around, you know, some of it was self-inflicted, some of it was just unfortunate, you know.
And that's a shame, as it was unfortunate. And what messages do you try to send your young fighters in the gym to try, when you see signs of trouble, to try to steer them away from that life?
Yeah, it's quite simple. Yeah, it's an investment. You get in life in general. You get at what you put in. Yeah, and be a role model for kids. Kids are watching you, including my own fighter. I speak from experience. We preach to Derek on a daily basis. Yeah, kids are looking up to you. You're an African. Kids in Africa, it means a lot to them when you win. Yeah, and your behavior. Yeah, it's not good for them to be reading all the negative stuff they're reading. That's not inspirational. That's not what a role model does. These people you're privileged. Yeah, you're privileged to be here, to be able to hone your craft. Yeah, to be paid for what you do. Yeah, so you need to give hope to other people, to kids in Africa and kids here as well in Europe. Yeah.
Right before we had some technical difficulties, Don was talking about how he preaches to his fighters about being role models. Don, would you get into that further for us?
Yeah, basically, like I said, I speak from experience with the character that I have in the name of Derek Chisora. I said we preached him on a regular basis, myself, his mother, the people around him, about how he must watch his actions, his words, because he's originally, obviously, he resides in England to hone his craft, to his privilege, and he should watch his ways, because there's a lot. He's now a very popular individual, not just here in Africa. Kids are looking up to you, relying on you, giving them hope. Because when you win, when you do the right things, you give them hope. Yeah, that I too, or they too, could one day become someone and somebody to get out of poverty. So don't be selfish and be the best person that you can be. Become the best human being you can become by using the opportunity, that you find yourself in. So that's basically what, not just to Chisora, to all the sportsmen around the world. I'm not trying to divide this into a black and white issue for once, yeah. But I am for momentarily. This is going out to all my black brothers, yeah. Whether you're here or you're in Africa, okay. Especially footballers, you break out of poverty initially to get over here to whether it's America, Europe, yeah. You break out of poverty, and my brothers, and this is partly what happened in Nigeria. Okay, when my brothers come over here and discover the bright lights of the Western world, they have a tendency of losing the plot and forgetting their roots. They were in poverty prior to coming here. So when you come here, you should take advantage of the opportunities that you find yourself presented with view to go back eventually and make a change by putting back. I hope that message, because it was a very powerful message actually. I hope I'm getting you're getting all this, because it's from the heart. It's how I genuinely feel. Yeah, like I said, I don't know how much of it you caught. Can you hear me?
Don,
Yes.
you spoke about, for instance, when the African people come over, they sometimes lose themselves, especially the footballers, when they get the big money and stuff like that. So
Yeah, generally sportsmen from origins of Africa. I said we have a tendency. I'm generalizing there. We have a tendency of when we initially come out of poverty from Africa. Yeah, are you with me?
Yep.
Right. We have a tendency once we see the bright lights of the US of A or the bright lights of England, okay, Europe, we have a tendency of losing our focus and forgetting that we came from poverty and forgetting to take advantage of the opportunities that we find ourselves in, okay, and lose our ways. So I'm sending a message out to all my black fellow Africans, whether you're African American or African English, this goes out to you. Maximize what you can do over here with these opportunities because there are kids, starving kids who are left children who are growing up, aspiring to break out of poverty. Okay, you need to encourage them to become like yourself. They too can become like yourself. Okay, give them hope and stop throwing away the valuable opportunities that you're given over here. That's my message to my fellow Africans.
Don, and do you think that given the successes of Derek and Joshua Clottey, Joseph Agbeko, that we might be seeing a real opening scene for African fighters to start making their way to the top?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, Africa's in general in sports, whether it's football or cricket or boxing, over the years we've always produced a lot of talent, but the infrastructure is not there. The money is not there because the economy is poor. So they don't invest back into sports back home in Africa. So yeah, I think but things are changing. Okay, a lot of Africans are migrating to, like I said, to the Western world, and the opportunities are there because we're very talented individuals, Africans. So I hope it continues, but on the conditions that my brothers take advantage and don't lose their ways when they break out into the Western world.
Don, you were just talking about there about, for instance, when the Africans come to either America or Britain, that they actually, they realise their full potential. Did you ever follow the career of Kasim Uma from Zimbabwe?
No, I didn't.
Zimbabwe. No, sorry, Uganda. Sorry, he came from Uganda. He was a kid that's, I think it's 7 years old. His family was killed and he was forced into the Ugandan army. And he managed to basically defect, and he became IBF light middleweight champion, and he even fought Jermaine Taylor at his peak.
No, I'm not aware of him. No.
There's a nice wee documentary actually called Kasim Dream, and he actually goes back to his homeland with his world title, and he sees his father's grave for the first time.
Wow, that's
a fantastic thing to see that actually. Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm gonna look that up because I like those kind of stories. Was it a happy ending in the sense he didn't lose his way, right?
He got knocked out by Gennady Golovkin last time out.
In his last fight, yeah.
Okay.
But
right.
really, there was in that documentary, he was smoking some cigarettes and stuff like that, whatever. But he did train. He did make. I would think he made the best of his potential anyway, because he had one of the greatest chins probably in the last 15 years, probably.
Really. Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, I hope, like he was in a typical example of what we're talking about here, about my fellow Africans losing their ways when they touch foot, and whether it's a curse again, you fight all your life to get out of poverty, and then when you get the opportunity to make good and help your fellow Africans who, like I said, to give them hope, and then you mess up, it's got to stop. It's got to stop.
Just going off that just now, Don, can we just wonder if you've got a wee eye on the fight coming up between Tyson Fury and David Haye, and what you think is going to occur on the night?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting fight, intriguing fight. Very good fight for the fighting fans. Myself, I'm very excited about the fight. Yeah, that fight will actually happen, and I'm glad it's happening. The outcome, It's a 50-50 fight, as far as I'm concerned, where I'm looking at it from. Reasons being, we know David Haye very well. He's a very explosive athlete. He's an athlete. He has a fantastic trainer who is able to devise, plans to execute any fights. I see if David Haye, if he wins, if he were to win, he'll have to do it inside 6 rounds. If not, if he doesn't get rid of Tyson by 6 rounds, I believe Tyson will be victorious.
I said similar about the Vladimir Klitschko fight. Actually, they had to take Klitschko out early to try and be successful. It was quite interesting. You just think that Tyson might just walk him down and might go through his shots, do you think?
Tyson Fury, I'm a fan of Tyson Fury's, by the way, because people ridicule this guy, that he's, I for once, not because he's beating my boy, Derek Chisora. Tyson Fury is an improving fight. He's improving each fight he improves. Yeah, he's a very awkward young man in terms of his size, what he does during fights. He's got a good fighting brain. Very interesting guy. Yes, he's open to David Haye's favorite shot, which is the over right hand. I believe they would be working as we speak to rectify that defense problem that he has, about being open to the over right hand, which is David's favorite shot. If they're able to lock the gate for that right hand coming in, I think they'll win comfortably, because he's a very big, awkward man. Okay, he's not your typical 6'9" guy. Doesn't move like a 6'9" fella. He's got good movement, good boxing brain, and he's a fighting man. This guy gets put down, and he comes up and he wins fights. Yeah, that's a rare ingredient to having a fighter. He has plenty of heart, big heart. He has a chin, and it's an exciting fight. Very exciting fight.
Do you think a lot of this depends on how Fury is able to utilize his jab?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he has a very good jab. He has a very good jab. David, let's not forget, David has problems with these big guys. He has problems with these big guys, because to beat these big guys, you need to get in and stay in. I don't believe David is going to do that. He's going to pot shot Tyson. He's going to try and sting him from the outside. Yeah. But I don't think you're going to beat Tyson. If you get lucky and land your bingo shot, yes, it's curtains. And may I add, if David was able to connect with his right hand, Tyson will not get up, because David punches harder than anyone Tyson would have met. And if he were to connect with one of those shots, I'm afraid it's curtains for Tyson. But for 12 rounds, is it 10? No, it's a 10-round fight, isn't it?
I think it's a 12-rounder.
Nothing's really confirmed.
It's not, okay.
It's a 12-rounder.
Is it a 12-rounder? What are they fighting for? Do you know?
Nothing yet, mate. It just says 12 rounds on BoxRec as it stands just now. So
Okay.
There's no title on the line, it seems.
Okay. Like I said, over 12 rounds, if provided David doesn't take the approach he took against Vladimir, then yeah, take a gamble, get in there, get stuck in, son, have a fight, But you're gonna find it very awkward, because this guy is 6'9". He knows how to tie you up. He knows how to lean all over you. He knows how to rough you up. If David is gonna withstand all that, then yeah, we're in for a good fight. But if he's gonna be negative and stand on the outside and try and come in and out and sting Tyson to catch him out with one shot, I think it's like playing a game of football, waiting for the opposition to foul you for you to get a penalty. You only want to score from a penalty kick. 9 times out of 10, you will not get that penalty. You need to score from open play.
I don't really think we'll see David actually go into a fight. I think you're going to see him fight like he did against Klitschko and Value, but fight off the back foot.
Yeah.
I think the only time you see Haye really go into a fight is when he's actually got his man hurt.
Yeah, and I give him credit. He fought the right tactics against us. He because of the size difference. You see, with him and Derek, there was not much difference in height, so he was able to punch at the level. It was easier for him to punch at the level. Yeah, so he got stuck in with Derek. He got stuck in there. But when you're fighting someone like Tyson Fury, 6'9", yeah, Tyson also fights tall in the sense that he maximizes his height. Like the Klitschko's, they maximize their height. Some, like Malik Scott, for instance, when he fought us, he doesn't fight like a 6'4" fighter. He lowers himself to almost being the same height as Derek, you know. But whereas the Klitschko's and people like Tyson Fury, they're able to maximize their height and make it count. So there's a lot of factors there.
You know, and the one thing that really stands out for me is just Hay does have a power advantage because I got it, Don. You know how good Derek's chin is over everyone. Knocking out Derek Chisora is quite a feat.
Well, yeah, the punches that knock you out, you don't see them. And my fighter, I'm still seething that he didn't stick to the total game plan in the sense that he went prematurely. He started opening up prematurely because he was too eager to get at David. And that was David's only way to beat my boy, is to knock him out. I knew that. We knew that. And the punch that hit him, that put Derek down, the initial punch that he went down from, yeah, the punches that knock you out, you don't see them. He dropped his guard by throwing some strange type of shot with his right hand. This is Derek Chisora. And David is too clever for that. He acknowledged that he saw Derek do that twice prior to him knocking Derek out. And yeah, my boy didn't say it. Not saying he will still withstand it if he saw it. It was a tremendous shot, but he still got up. He got up from it. You know, not many people would have gotten up from that shot. He got up from it. And even when the second onslaught came, instead of Derek holding, he chose to fight back. That's the fighter in him. Even on his way down, he was still trying to throw a punch. That's Derek Chisora for you. But, you know, that's why I love him. You know, he's got a fighting heart.
Is it a fair stoppage, Don?
What, Derek Chisora and Hay?
David, yeah.
Of course. Hell yeah. I mean, Jesus, you know, it was a proper stoppage. You know, if that was my fighter, if it was the other way around, I would be acknowledging that. What a tremendous stoppage. Yeah. Full credit to David Hay. Should he be successful against Tyson Fury? I'm sure that's a fight that we want to have in the future with David Hay. You know, Derek has already asked me for that. He said, you know, in the future, should David carry on fighting and winning, I want that fight again. So, you know, it's not over yet.
Don, let me ask you this, just for those of us stateside. If I was to ask you, who's one British fighter that the average American boxing fan doesn't know about now that they will know about this time next year, who would you think that is?
Heavyweight. Or
any weight.
Okay, let me see. Now you got me there because my brain is just spinning. When you say any weight, should I start with one weight and then work my way down?
if you got a number of fighters, we'd love to hear them. We're always looking for new talent.
Yeah. Well, I'm working with there's a young man. He's on a ban at the moment. His name is Dylan White. Okay. Mm-hmm. And there's also a heavyweight that I train. His name is Ian Lewison. Okay. He actually was in a contest called the Prize Fighter, and he fought an American called Rossi. Surname is Rossi.
Derek Rossi.
Yeah, and we won that fight, but we got robbed. So listen out for Ian Lewison. He's gonna make noise in the heavyweight division because he's very, very talented. Yeah, and that's it really. I can't really off the top of my head think of anyone else. Not being biased or being like I'm only naming my own fighters. Dylan White is not my fighter. Is my colleague, my friend trains him. Chris Oko trains him. So I'm not being biased there. I'm just being honest. He's one to watch out for.
Don, what do you think about Anthony Ogogo?
Very good, but I prefer Chris Eubank Jr.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight.
I think he's the one really to watch out for. Sorry, you just jogged my memory there. See, so it's Chris Eubank Jr. one to watch out for. He's got everything and more.
Just leading off that one then, what about after Billy Joe Saunders is dominating the performance against Spike O'Sullivan? What about Eubank and Saunders?
I'm committing cardinal sin here. How dare I forget Billy Joe Saunders, one of my favorite fighters in this country. Yeah, the kid is just something else. Yeah, he is. I mean, his performance at the weekend was majestic, was it not?
great boxing display.
It
It was like a glorified sparring session at times. He was just so good.
It was majestic, you know. It was majestic. So no, listen, we've got some great fighters over in Britain, you know, at the moment. The whole scene is on fire in all weight divisions. I mean, you're asking me, my brain is just going blank. But when you bring the fighters up, then I'm acknowledging, I almost forgot Billy Joel. I mean, Jesus, you know, Billy Joel. You got your Frankie Gavin, you know, the Slickster. I call him the Slickster, you know. We've got a lot of talented guys coming through in this country, you know. And what about the fight with Groves and
Froch.
That's a mouthwatering.
I was going to ask you actually, yeah.
I mean, these fights are being made, you know. It's great, you know. It's great. The boxing public are in for a treat, and you know, from September. I mean, there's so many good fights being made. That fights you wouldn't normally expect to be made. You know, it's brilliant.
I think Groves could stand up to Froch and maybe box himself to a decision on that one, Don?
No, I don't think it's a decision. You know, I'm a very outspoken man. You know, I see Groves stopping him.
Groves stopping Froch?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes, seriously. I don't drink alcohol and I don't smoke drugs.
I just think Froch has got a great chin, you know.
So has Derek Chisora.
I'll check the odds on that while we're on here, just two seconds.
So has Derek Chisora. Let me tell you something, yeah? Groves is an improving fighter all the time. And don't forget his coach, Adam Booth, whom I rate highly, yeah? Okay? Adam would not take that fight, yeah? That man, if Adam Booth was American, he would be hailed as the greatest trainer, right? I hail him because although he beat us, you know, I'm still not bitter, still disappointed that they won the fight against us. Hey, David Hay beat my boy Derek. But you have to give credit where it's due. Yeah, the man is good at what he does. Yeah, if Adam Booth, I know how he thinks. If Adam Booth didn't think Groves is up for it or is able to do the job, he would not put his boy in that fight. I'll tell you that for nothing, right? Okay, he's only gotten it wrong once against Vladimir Klitschko, right? Apart from that, they've been successful every time they've gone for something, they've gotten it. Yeah, okay. You cannot allow people to hit you on the chin and say you've got a tough chin, yeah? All right? And I have my reasons why I believe Grove will be successful. It's not points. I don't believe it will be a points thing. Somebody's getting knocked out.
He does put his punches together really well, and he's quick.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And he's got a lot to his game, trust me, and he's improving all the time. Yeah? He's improving all the time. Yeah, no disrespect to Carl. I love Carl. I think he's a tough mother. Yeah, okay. He's mentally strong, physically strong. He's something else. He's a throwback. He's not from today, Carl Froch. Yeah, he's not. But you know what? I'm just a very honest man. I believe that Grovesy, I love what he's doing. I love how he's improving all the time. Did you see his last fight?
Did you?
I mean, you tell me from that. That was no mug, the guy who was fighting, yeah. And the way he dispatched him, not even the knockout, it was the little things he was doing here, there, and there in the fight. I was really impressed, I'll be honest with you. I was present at that show. It was a Carl Froch show, wasn't it? And I saw that fight, and I was very, very impressed in how he had improved. You know, he will, and I believe he will be victorious on that day.
Don, just looking at the odds on the internet, Groves is actually 7-1 for the stoppage.
Well,
you better place a bet, Don.
I'm not a betting man. I don't bet. I'm just making my own. It's my own observation and my own prediction. Doesn't mean I'm right, but hey, that's how I see it.
Now, let me ask you about a couple of fights that are happening stateside that are pretty mouth-watering affairs too. First of all, Floyd Mayweather Jr. against Saul Alvarez. How do you see that fight going?
If anyone can touch my man, because he is the man, he's the undisputed, he's one of the best ever, right? One of the best ever. If anyone has the style, okay, and the mental attitude to give Floyd a match, a close match, then it'll be Alvarez. But having said that, I just can't say it. When you just can't, not because I'm so caught up of being a Floyd Mayweather's fan, that sometimes people are such a fan that the truth, they're blinded. They don't want to accept the truth. Yeah, and Floyd is such a smart guy, because I thought Floyd would not fight this guy, and he suddenly sprung it on everybody. I'll fight him now, not in a year's time, not in 18 months' time. I'll do it now. And he's a very smart guy. You know why? Because he knows that for him, what he's still got, he's got enough now to deal with this young guy right now, not tomorrow, not day after, now. So I'll give him that for smartness, and I believe he'll be victorious. He has the ability to change during fight. If it's not going his way, he has the ability to change it during fights. Not many fighters have that ability to adapt, to people's styles. If it's not going his way, Floyd has that ability. He's done it time and time and time again. I don't see any difference with this one, but not right. Never write any fighter off. Hunger is a wonderful thing.
Absolutely, and that I think if someone goes in with the nothing to lose attitude with Floyd, that's the only way to have a chance. You got to throw more punches than he does.
Yeah, and if anyone has the style, to make any mark on Floyd Mayweather, because he's a magician, Floyd Mayweather. If anyone has the style to, make an impression on Floyd, this young chap, has. And like I said, it's his mental makeup that I like in Alvarez. He's got the mental makeup. I don't believe he'll crack. So I think we're in for a treat. It's going to be an interesting, intriguing, very, good fight.
And a fight that's on the undercard of that shocked everyone, because now the card's basically officially stacked. Mm-hmm. Danny Garcia against Lucas Matthysse.
That's right.
What do you think? That's got to be a war, don't you think, Don?
Of course. I back Matthysse all the time, all along.
I love you, man. I love you.
All along.
Don, what are your thoughts about Anthony Joshua returning pro and making his debut on October 5th?
Yeah, brilliant. I think he's made the right decision by turning pro. He's my boy. Yeah, I hate the word discovered, because you can't discover something that was already there. I know him very well. I know the young lad. I've helped him so many times in training, and it comes to me occasionally for me to train him. So I'm very familiar with him when he first started his career 5 years ago. To him winning gold, and up as recent as last week, I was training him. So I'm not his trainer, by the way. When now he's turned professional, I believe he's gonna go with McCracken. So I wish him all the best, and yeah, it'd be a force to be reckoned with in the future.
We had a few questions for you on Twitter, Don. Some of the listeners of the podcast. Twitter handle @TheFightSource asked, "Are you looking at a Tony Thompson fight?"
If that was to materialize, we'll accept it with 2 hands. Oh, sorry, 3 hands. We'll grow an extra arm and accept it.
One of our favorites, Colm @COHCFC asked, "Is Wilder possible soon? How about fighting Big Rogie?" I think they're talking Martin Rogan at the Copper Box.
Yeah, I mean, look, where we are at the moment, isn't it wonderful when you win? Because, we were written off. Oh, Derek Chisora is finished. He's finished, right? Now, we get a 1 win. Okay, we're not going to get carried away, the team, Chisora, myself, the team, right? I'm not a promoter. All these names you said, yeah, they're all very possible, but I'm not a promoter. Frank Warren is our promoter. He knows, like I said earlier on, he's an engineer, master engineer. He knows what the next move is. He's a good chess player. He knows what the next move is, and we believe him and we trust him because he's done it many a times for us. So he will make the next move, and he will tell us, and I'm sure it'll be the right move. So all these names, yes, they're all possibilities, and would relish the opportunity to fight any of those names. Martin Rogan is a good friend of mine. I love him, and yeah, it'll be a great fight, but what's in it for Derek Chisora right this minute, you ask yourself. So that fight really can't see it materializing, yeah? So, Thompson, if Pulev does, You're telling me Pulev had an operation? Is that what you're saying? I'm not aware
Yeah,
of
I
it.
think he had shoulder surgery about
Yeah.
6-7 months ago, Don. So I think he maybe want a tune-up first.
Okay, fine. So, who's to know? Like I said, we await for our promoter's advice on who he's bringing next. So, I'm sure we'll hear in the next couple of weeks, because we're already in training for it. I've given Derek a couple of days off from he's reporting back to duty on Monday. So yeah, we'll be in training for whoever Frank says to us to fight.
Yeah, let's see. We had another question for you. This is more about Derek. I know Frank has his plans and everything, but you know Derek. At 1982, Reggie asks, "Is Derek keen to avenge his losses, or happy to go a different route?"
No, he wants to avenge those losses. He's a very proud man, like myself. Yeah, okay, we want to avenge those losses. Tyson Fury, we owe him a rematch. David Haye would love a rematch, and Vitaly Klitschko would love a rematch. Or his brother, who avoided Derek twice. Okay, and obviously there's the Robert Helenius, but we beat the man already, so I don't believe Robert Helenius would step anywhere near Derek Chisora. In fact, after Derek Chisora beat him, he's never been the same man again, and probably will never be the same man again. Yeah,
I agree with that.
physically and mentally destroyed the guy. Physically and mentally destroyed him.
Well, even Hellenius's mother probably thought he lost that fight. It's definitely one of the worst robberies in recent memory.
Well, I would say so, but he's never been the same man again. So that's sometimes it didn't pay to. They would have been better off accepting defeat, and maybe the man would have come again. Okay, I've been beaten, right? Regroup and come again. Yeah, yeah. So that's always going to come back and haunt him. Yeah, he's never been the same man again.
Yeah,
He
it's
was.
kind of like Derek. Derek lost the battle, but he won the war.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Derek went on, and you know what thing I have to admire about Vitaly Klitschko, right? He is a very honest person. He said, "I wanted to fight the winner of that fight between Derek Chisora and Robert Helenius, and Derek Chisora won the fight, so that's why I'm fighting him, or that's why I fought him."
Don, can I just correct something? Actually, I made a mistake. It's Pulev wasn't injured. It was actually Denis Boykstov. He actually had the elbow surgery. Sorry about that.
Yeah, okay, because he was the next in line, I believe. If Pulev relinquishes the title, I believe it was Boystov that would have probably stepped in.
Yeah.
But if he's not able to step in, then hey, listen. Like I said, I don't know. Whoever we don't mind whoever steps up for the title to fight for whether it's vacant or whether the person who has it want to defend it. We don't mind. We train for it. I'm sure we'll all know in the next couple of weeks what's going to happen. So we haven't got long to wait.
And I have another question here about Derek from at Tranquillo Guapo. He says, ask Don if he'll keep Chisora in shape from this point on. And Derek did look in excellent shape for the Scott fight.
Yeah, the answer is yes. The answer is I don't know if you've been following all the press conferences leading up to the Malik score. My fighter has finally accepted that it was him that was doing something. He was cheating in the sense that he was eating things that he shouldn't be eating, like biscuits. Yeah. Okay. He finally, and I always say, whether you're an alcoholic or you're a drug abuser or you have a habit that you want to kick, until you accept that you have that problem, you cannot be cured. In Derek Chisora's case, it was biscuits. Thank God, it was just biscuits, right? He had an addictive was addicted to digestive biscuits, right? And he got caught out and he admitted it, then accepted it and confessed. And since he laid off the biscuits, yes, the weight's coming off rapidly. And I've always said to him from day one, you shouldn't be a 17 stone fight. You should be 16 stone 9, 16 stone 10, right? He'll be so much faster, explosive, okay? And I believe that's what you're going to see in the future. His weight will be dropping, not to the degree where he becomes a cruiserweight. No, all right. He will. Next fight, we're going to achieve at least 6 pounds less than what he came in. So that will bring him under 17 stone. He'll be like 17 stone 12, right, for the next fight. 16 stone 12 for the next fight.
And yeah, that seems a good goal because a few people I know say that 225 is. They sound like that's the weight that they would love to see Derek at.
Yeah, he will get that. I mean, we don't want to do it overnight. We want to gradually do it, so he doesn't lose anything. His power or you know what I mean. If you drop weight, rapidly, it can affect you. So we want to do it gradually. So we've come down to this weight, and he done it nicely. He was strong at it. Again, we're going to, provided he sticks to his word and don't do the wrong thing with his diet. It's all to do with diet, He's at last working with a nutritionist who's now giving him and he's following it. We've done it in the past, but he hasn't followed it. He's cheated. So he's accepted it finally that he has a problem with them. He's got sweet teeth, you see. So, but he's doing something about it. So you're gonna see him. I mean, imagine, it's music to my ears, and I'm excited of the prospects of Derek Chisora being the weight that me, the trainer, have always requested for him to be. He trains hard enough. It's nothing to do with training. He trains very hard, that boy. He really does. Hardly misses any sessions since I've been with him for 10 years. He's hardly missed any sessions. And so why do you come in at the weight that we're scratching our heads? Myself and the conditioning coach, we're always scratching our heads. I'm going to say, why is it, the weight is sticking at where it is, in the past. But finally, we're getting somewhere, thank God.
It's a bit like Frankie Gavin, Don. That's what he had a problem. I think it was beans and toast that he used to eat as well.
Well, there you go. I think it's widespread. You find all through all the weight divisions. You find a lot of, and it's always the talented ones that have this problem.
I'm not super talented like that, but we all have our weaknesses. Mine being hamburgers and women.
Exactly. I'm not perfect. I've got my weaknesses. I won't tell you what they are, though.
And Don, got one more Twitter question for you here. At Box Scorecard asks, Derek performed well in the fight. Mm-hmm. What was he pleased with most, and what was he disappointed with?
Okay. He was pleased that he won. Obviously, disappointed that he missed a few punches. Disappointed that he didn't jab enough, because part of our game plan was because Derek's got a tremendous jab that he quite frequently doesn't use it enough. Yeah, so it was because during sparring he was doing it, and during that fight he wasn't doing it. So he was disappointed that he didn't jab enough.
Yeah, he's showing excellent head movement working his way inside, though. I was very impressed with that. It took Scott a while to find a good punch to hit home on him.
Sure.
Was he a bit disappointed with the clinching that Scott was initiating, Don?
No. That, to me, that I was actually surprised that Scott had adopted to do that, because that was the worst thing he could have done from round one, is that clinching a bigger man who's stronger than him. Even if you listen carefully to Jesse Reed, told him after the first round, don't clinch don't wrestle with this man. Yeah. So that wasn't part of their game plan. For whatever reason, Scott chose to do that, which I believe was the wrong thing. And I in return, after the first round, I said to Derek, fantastic, he's wrestling you, brilliant. That will tire him out. I was really surprised that he chose to do that. No, we were glad that he was doing that, because, you can't wrestle someone bigger and stronger than you. You're going to suck energy, which did. And then when you're being hit with body shots that he was hitting Scott with, Scott's never experienced that, being tagged with body shot after body shot.
Yeah, you guys did have an excellent game plan going in, Don. And so let me, as you look at the development of Derek Chisora at this point, what do you consider to be the next step in your development of him as a fighter?
Sorry, can you repeat that? Didn't catch you.
Oh, I said Derek has been developing well, but what do you see as the next step in his development as a fighter?
Okay. Yeah, just to You know that one punch takeout. You know, everyone keeps accusing, saying that it doesn't hit hard enough. I refuse. I disagree. Derek's very heavy-handed. Yes, it does hit hard enough. It's all to do with technique. Technique in the sense that we're still working on it for him to have that one takeout shot. It's all to do with technique.
Getting the full body behind the shot done.
Balance.
Yeah.
Balance. Working on his balance. It will come. You know, it will come. And I'm not going to go into too much details, but it will come.
Well, and Don, we spent a good hour and a half, I think, talking with you today, and we're just out of question at this point. But is there anything that you would like to say as parting words to the fans out there? As they really, really enjoyed your last interview, and I think they're going to enjoy this one too.
Yeah, listen, I said to Kurt, you know, and Andy, I could talk for America, Africa, Asia, yeah, Europe. So, you know, I'm disappointed that you've run out of questions, you know, but nevertheless, I've always enjoyed it, yeah, because you know when you get three people firing different questions at you, it's very challenging because it draws you from all different angles, you know. Yeah, what would I like to say to people out there? Just keep supporting the sport that we all love, and you know, don't be so biased at times. You know, don't ridicule people who get knocked out, because that's the sport we're in. People get knocked out. That's why you tune in to watch. It's a gladiator sport. You have to be a special individual to do this sport. Trust me. Yeah, you can't play. You can play football, play tennis, play cricket. You can't play boxing. Yeah, it's a gladiator sport. So have full respect for anyone who gets knocked down. It's not embarrassing. They're in there fighting. Yeah, your life is potentially on the line, right? So it takes a lot of courage and skills to step between those ropes. So don't be so harsh on these fighters when they lose. Somebody's got to lose. They don't plan to lose. Everybody wants to win. Yeah, there has to be a winner and a loser. Yeah, we've been there. We've tasted, myself and Derek. And when Derek loses, I lose. Yeah, it doesn't feel nice. It doesn't taste nice. But it takes a better person to get up, dust yourself off, yeah, and say, right, I'm gonna come again. And that's what life is about. You know, you get knocked down in life. How many disappointments do you have in life? That's a form of a knockout. Life is a blow. Life delivers blow to every one of us. We're all individuals. We're all human beings. Yeah, it's not just boxing. You know, life itself is like a boxing match. You always get knocked down. You know, disappointments, business deals that fell through, all different things that go wrong in your life. Those are blows. And what do? Lie down and be counted out? No, you get up, you dust yourself up. So look at it like that. Boxing is just like life. You get blows and blows all the time. You don't lie down and die. No, you get up and go. That's what I like to ask everybody. Please don't ridicule people who get knocked out or lose a fight. No, give them an opportunity. They will come back if they desire to come back. It's a test of willpower. That's my message, basically.
Don, I've got a wee message here from Kurt. He just want to apologise for not speaking as much because he's got poor mic quality. And if any of your fighters like Derek or Dylan or anything like that want to come on the pod and speak to us about boxing, we're more than willing to accept them and have a wee chat with them. And hopefully we speak to you in the future as well.
Fantastic. It's always a pleasure. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I said it's always a pleasure, you know, talking to you guys, and I look forward to when we talk again.
Well, and I appreciate being a part of this because I didn't get to talk with you last time. And Don, I hope to see Derek stateside sometime. I hope the opportunity arises, you guys jump on it because I'd love to see it.
That's inevitable. It will happen by the grace of God.
Fantastic. Well, Don, we wish you the best moving forward, and we will definitely be back in touch with you, my friend.
Okay, thank you for talking to me. Thank you for having me. To all of you.
Don, is it okay we try and get maybe you and Derek on before his next fight in, was it October, I think, is it, or September?
It's in September the 21st.
We try and get you and Derek on around about that time?
No problem. I'll make sure that happens, yeah.
Thanks a lot,
Excellent. Mate. So look forward to that one, Boxing Asylum fans, and Don Charles, we appreciate your time. You are one heck of an interview, and we love your thoughts on boxing.
Vice versa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, bye-bye.
Right, take care, Don.
All right, bye-bye.